Welcome back, everybody. Hey everybody. So, I'm a little busy at the moment with the other stuff. My car has been totaled. A couple of pictures here real quick. But I'm in the process of getting a new vehicle, so if I slack on this a little bit, my apologies. I just gotta make sure everything's good to go. But, welcome back to our Hump Day chats. Let's start real quick with more packages. So I'm not gonna lie, Derek Dvorak, I've already pulled these out. But, thank you. You were completely right. A hex wrench set like this, a hex driver set, is definitely a lot better than what I've been working with. So yeah, I've already been using them. Thank you very much for these. They're going in my everyday carry. And Joe Stan, thank you for this. There was one heck of a deal he gave me on there we go. On a spare chameleon frame. And other assorted pieces. Oh, that's a lot. Thank you, Joe. It'll get me right back up in the air here, so totally stoked for that. I've ordered a few other things from Amazon, but we'll get to all that when the time's right. So anyway, welcome back to my Hump Day chats. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about prop rotation. This one should be a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the arguments that'll go on in the comments. Don't worry, I'll talk about both positives and negatives for both styles. So let's go ahead and jump down to the table here. It'll be a lot easier to show you like that. Okay, let's dive in. So, there are two basic configurations for prop rotation. Forward, where the front props spin inward, and the rear spin outward. And what we call reverse, where all four props spin the other way, making the front spin outward and the rear spin inward. Let's start with regular rotation. That's this. This is the standard way your quads will fly out of the box and set up. People remember it as a crab that shoves things into its mouth and kicks everything away. Mountain and valley, where the front props make a mountain and the rear props make a valley from the front, where it goes up, goes down kind of thing. Or just inward up front, outward out back. This is the easiest way to get up in flying because it's the clockwise and counterclockwise motors are normally mounted on bind and fly and ready to fly quads, and it should already be set up that way in the configurator you use, so it's generally simpler to fly regular rotation. However, as a general rule in physics, a rotating blade has a center of thrust that moves during flight toward the blade advancing into the air. Fluid dynamics and physics and all that, I'm not really going to get into it heavily, but there you go. So with normal prop rotation, with your advancing blade being on the outside, your center of thrust tends to move out towards the outside of the props and to the inside on the rear props. This gives you a more stable handling characteristics at the trade-off of the front props throwing dirtier air into the rear props. That makes these less efficient. With our thrust to weight ratio on a typical mini quad, this loss of efficiency is really only noticeable at the ragged edge of performance, a la high-speed racing. This effect has mostly been negated in the stretch X frame as well. I don't have any to show you, but that's where the front is way far forward and the back is way far back. And that's due to the rear props being moved out of the way from the turbulence from the front props. Alright, I've gone ahead and swapped the props around so we can talk about a reverse rotation setup. So in a reverse rotation setup, that center of thrust moves from to the inside of the front props, as they're the advancing blade, and outward on the rear props. This creates a slightly less stable quad as your center of thrust is closer into the center, but because your thrust is on the inside, it creates cleaner air for the center of thrust on the rear props. The bigger advantages of reverse rotation, however, is more a clean camera and the ability to bounce off of objects in front of it better, which brings us to our point. You see, well, first off, excuse the missing camera here, I just haven't put a new front end and lens on this Runcam Swift, but with normal rotation, the airflow and objects that are in front of the camera are going to be pulled into the front camera, and with both props going this way, they'll be pushed away from the sides of the quad. Your quadcopter camera does have a tendency to get dirty, and if you're a racer or hit a gate or a tree branch head-on, you're more likely to get tangled up and sucked into the object with these blades spinning that way. However, you're more likely to be pushed off of something that comes in from the sides of the quad, with the blades spinning the way they do. With reverse rotation, you're going to tend to throw the dust and grass and such into the sides of the quadcopter, getting dust, dirt, grass, etc. into the stack, and you'll bounce from the front and you'll get sucked in on the sides. So really, changing up the rotation of the props is more of a personal preference that depends on your flying style and what you want to clean more often. Personally, I tend to slide sideways into things, and I don't like dismantling my quadcopter and having to clean the electronics periodically, so I run regular rotation. If you tend to hit things head on, or you're planning to fly gates or in generally clean environments, it may benefit you to run reverse rotation to enable you to bounce off of objects. In all honesty, it's up to you. I'll go ahead and link an article that explains some of these physics in a little bit more depth and gives you a run through on how to change your prop rotation in Betaflight specifically, if you feel you want to do so. Either way, the important thing is to get out there and go fly. So, if you like what I'm doing, go ahead and click that like button down below. And if you want to see my videos as they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button over here somewhere. That'll help me out a lot too. But that's pretty much all I got for today, so I'll see all you guys and gals on the flip side.